Interlining connections, interference, position locations, high level systems. Before we get started, it's true to understand that there are quite a few people that are absent. That's totally fine. I understand you're extremely busy. Position locations calculations. So even if you off wind cycles and rotation center position locations, you're going to feel the effect because you're all attached to each other. That's what this process is, guys. It's all about understanding how to put everybody back in alignment. So if you get one big, humongous chain, you know you're going to get attraction, location to its reaction. Okay? So it doesn't matter where you go. You're going to be traveling. You're going to see these things because you're attached to each other. Remember that. But best of luck to all those people that are not feeling well in their position locations. I'll center hindline, center interference, position locations, change the track line centers, put you back in calculations. There's no reasons for you to understand the calculations of your fears and being sick. Being sick is allowing yourself to defeat the purpose line center. So many levels of confidence line position locations to that connections. But it's important to understand how to use your avatar and what it needs. And sometimes it needs rest, sometimes it needs more lights, sometimes it needs more time to itself. That's a true understanding when you come into that proactive system. But it's true understanding that, I know exactly who's absent. I know exactly who isn't coming. I know exactly who and what is happening next in position, location, and calculations. But see, the thing is, too, is that if you allow yourself to see yourself being yourself where you are in calculations, you are not moving forward in your situation, right? And that's what comes in position locations because I don't get sick. I don't allow myself to get sick. Too strong, too powerful, too controlled in all level position locations. And why is that? Because I stay in the now. And that's position locations when you come into all levels of who we are. Who are we? Do you know who you are yet? These are the things you have to figure out when it comes into the mind system, right? It's a collaboration line center, positional keys, calculations. So energy lights, communication programs, off cycles, virus line, position locations. It's truly understand how to get back in position location to its avatar, right? The avatar doesn't want to be sick. The avatar doesn't want to have a fever, okay? The avatar needs what it needs, and it's the process of space and time, position, locations, calculation line conditions. Drinking more tea, better dietary system, better calculations, better formation line positions, better sleep in position locations, getting into exercise, finding conditionalized systems, isolating yourself to put yourself in program setting. This is a true understanding when you come into your avatar. How often do you communicate to yourself inside? Let's honestly be in this system here, people. How often do you communicate inside your body? Right? Talking inside your body in all level system, inner line and position locations. How's my finger line interference position locations? How's my heart doing today? How's the brain line center interference line positions? Oh, my eyes are a little bit sore. How's it going today? Communicate, 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 communicate. You have to learn how to communicate with your whole body every single day because it's nothing but you of all levels of energy, vibration, frequency, and harmonic resistance. You have to understand light streams, the data processing, the upgrades, the uploads, and uplinking system. Get in that calculation line conditions. That's what Dolores Cannon says. You're not meant to be sick. You're allowing yourself to be sick. Think about that. That changes program setting right there in position location to its calculations. I don't allow myself to be in that position locations unless I change my thought patterns, right? But I think it's fantastic that you guys do all these things. Go here, go there, do this with your kids and all that. But just remember, you're all attached to each other. Every single time you get up in the morning, you're more attached to each other. So the more you travel, the more you see. You don't have to be in the class to see. It's a portal that's open to you because you're in that position, especially when it comes into the rebellion and the GFLs. And there you're definitely going to see it. Right. So you're driving like one day and all of a sudden, whoa, there's a velociraptor. Hey, whoa, what's going on? You know? So it's in a process where basically once you go to higher level system, you really have to understand the code frequencies, the code line centers, the portal line interference to put these in position locations back in your standard line system. You have to understand your timelines, your vortex communication cycles, or anything connected of its chambers. Right? Understand the point locations, the 369 patterns or interference position location to its calculations. Right? But that's the thing. You have to understand when you come into position locations, you're sick because you want to be sick. right? That's positions where you have to really communicate more to your body, right? Herb tea, not enough tea, too much coffee, right? Too much iron, too much acid in your stomach, too much cheese, too much of anything. I still learn the process too. I mean, there's a lot of old programs I still have to surface ever since I was a kid. Sure, everybody likes a bag of chips. Sure, everybody likes connections all levels. When it comes into soda and that, these are the things that are hard to break, very hard to break, right? But as long as you understand how to really balance out your dietary system, your communication, your avatar will understand more position, location to its connections, right? It's truly understanding where you are traveling in your position. So there's a reason why you are sick. You could be on a miracle stand. You could be on a miracle planet. You could be in a hot wave line center. You could be caught in a major interference. Doesn't mean you're still awake in visitor locations. You're all right in that high system, but it has in some reaction to the avatar. That's the only way you're sick. Either you not understand the conditions of travel, or you're trying to send too much more information of light, or you not understand anything through anxiety, high interference locational levels of stress, coming into a level position location of aggression. The avatar doesn't want to be there. The avatar wants to be in the now. This is a process that everybody has to understand through calculations. This helps you in all ways and forms getting into those plateaus. Why do you think we travel every single day, right? To put yourself in balance with yourself. So you don't allow yourself to be sick in any way and form, right? There's one time I was sick in positional occasions, having too much pizza. Now let's try to stand too much work. That's my problem. I work too much, right? So it's saying, hey, slow down, you know? So it's all about understanding these things. I was on Lance Mountain. I sent you guys a very powerful video before I came on live. I was 5,000 feet above, 5,000 feet above at the physical line center. Just imagine how high I am in space, right? Came back down, right? Threw up because the altitude was so high, the physical line didn't understand, right? So everything that we do is experience. We experience the avatar every single day. And that puts us in a position to either discuss it with the ecosystem or discuss it with the avatar of understanding, right? This is all about the conception of balance, how you get everything through the male and the female aspects of you. Do you actually trust you, right? Because the thing is, you have to trust yourself first, but you can trust anybody else. That's not everybody else. They have their problems. You worry about you. That's what you have to start learning. You have to really get it into that volume of trusting. Okay. So I think it's important to understand these things. And if you feel under the weather, if you have a fever, if you're sick, find a way to communicate to your avatar better. Okay. All right. So let's see. We've got into communications before we get started. Basically, what's happening right now, don't everybody just get alarmed right now. I'm taking a vacation. Okay. I'm going for 2 weeks. All right. Now, first off, I know everybody's freaking out. So what's going to happen is I'm going to be in Jalapa for a week. And from there, I'm going to head over to Veracruz. I'm going to be going to the Gulf of Mexico in a nice hotel, sit back and relax and enjoy the moments, right? Day by day. But I still will be doing lives every single day. So you'll see me on the beach looking outside. Hey, look at that. There's the water. There's Gulf of Mexico. So I will be there, be doing lives. I'm not leaving till Tuesday, so there will be class Monday. All right, but I will be on the road and I will be doing YouTube videos. So I'll keep you informed of what's going on with everything through the grounds and places that I go, the atmosphere changes and odd conditions, right? So I'll be going to Jalapa for a week to Familia, and then I'll be going to Veracruz. Okay, so I'll be 2 weeks, right? Coming Tuesday. All right, so if you need me for position locations, Highline Center, and we're going to do the morning classes. Won't be doing the afternoon classes, but that I promise you. Okay, and everything I do on the road, I'll set up YouTube videos. Okay, if you need me, you can DM me, and you have any problems with this or problems with that, let me know. I'll see what I can do with Zoom, see if that's available. I just need a vacation, just like anybody else. We all need vacations from time to time, right? And now's the time for general to have a vacation. So other than that, so what we're going to do today, there's no class in the afternoon and there's no class tomorrow, Sunday, right? Because I got to get ready, I got to pack, get everything all set. But I just wanted to tell you face to face, exactly what is going on. I think it's going to be great too because you're going to see different levels. It's like you're actually at the beach in Gulf of Mexico. We'll talk about the water, we'll talk about the atmospheres, we'll talk about the change. It's amazing how the avatar changes its positions to different atmosphere locations. And when you guys go on trips, you have to learn how to get into that volume, get into that center, get into the grounds to your system locations, right? I will be going on live on TikTok today. Okay. If you need upgrades at position locations or you got headaches or migraines or anything like the system, I'm always going to be here for you. It's just I need a vacation. So just like everybody else does. Find time to really get into the center back to you. A lot of people really get lost at transition, and sometimes you just need a break from everything. All right. So today, what we're going to do, hopefully you guys saw Lucy. If you haven't go seen Lucy, it's a very powerful video where she's at the very end of the movie where I won't get into details, but there's a certain part where she's sitting in the chair. Okay. And basically, she's just going through planes and planes and planes of different things. She's seeing people and moving that, spinning it around. How she was controlling the atmospheres, controlling the people. That's what it is. So it becomes more real when you get into the percentage of the brainwaving pattern. It's interesting how you come into the conceptual high system, how I disappear on live and TikTok. How is that possible? Well, it's truly understanding that I live all timelines in the now. I sent a very powerful video of 3 minutes talking about that. I was saying, how is it possible you see an orb on camera, right? And I was just telling him, the fact is it's all done through perception. It's in his timeline. But in my timeline, I see everything on and off camera. That's my reality. That's my space. That's my time, right? So coming in position, Lucy's sitting in the chair and she's going to go through planes and planes and planes. That's what's going to happen. So you guys are going to go out of the firmaments. You're going to see space, but you're going to glide. So what's going to happen is that the plane is going to be above. You're going to see the ethers and you're just going to like you go really, really fast. And that tunnel is just going to, and then you're going to stop, right? And then basically what's going to happen, everybody's going to get out. It's a plasma wall that you're going to come out of, and then you're going to see all levels of the dinosaurs. Okay. We're going to go east. And there's a reason why we went all location positions of west. Okay. West to east. And that truly understands more when we come into levels of how the dinosaurs lived in that day, the nature grounds, the connections of the reptilians, the feeding source, their connections on how they lived, the process of living, why they lived. Everybody lives for a reason. Everybody has a life force. They had their time, just as humanity has their time, right? But when you see these things, this is 150,000 years in the past, but I changed the timeline so you actually see yourself in the now. So that's the only way you can actually see what you're seeing in front of you, okay, which is this position. It's amazing how you do these things on location to its connections, all right? But it's going to be a lot of fun, all right? And then I'll tell you after class, coming Monday, where we're going to be, okay? So it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to set up the planes, the code signal location to its connections. All right, let's see here. All right, let's see what we got here. So you're going to see velociraptors, you're going to see Planosaurus, Stegosaurus, Dilophosaurus. You're going to see the T-Rex. Don't worry about these things. You're in your plasma energy bubbles. So basically, they will be seeing you, and you'll be seeing them. This is the understanding where you come into awareness and really see what you're seeing is the now, okay? And that's the only way you come into realism because you've already been there. That's why the brain realizes everything that's going on. The film projector is just switching everything back to a timeline. It's just, it's switching it, and they realize, whoa, T-Rex, I was there, right? That's the connections why you understand these timelines. And this is humanity lost of information that's given to them once they get their memory back, right? So, Melinda, how's it going? Belle, Nikki. All right, so Amber's not going to be in. Don, how's it going? Matt, John. Okay. Jill, Steph, Airbender. Val, how's it going, Val? How's it going? So don't get freaked out if you're seeing dinosaurs, right? I mean, I'm not talking dinosaurs in a book. I'm talking about you're actually going to see them thump. You're going to see them eating plants. You're going to see what they do. That's the whole process. So it's kind of like you're in the outline center. They see you, but you got a plasma energy around you. So don't worry about that. It's just fascinating. I see these things in 150,000 years in the past, right? That's why it's so real, because you're going to be transported into the ethers around the planes, and then it's just going to, and right? So it's like, whoa, you stop. If you watch Lucy, you understand what I'm talking about, where she put her finger out, and that position location was that caveman, right? And then, and she got, see, it's all about how to travel through portal, right? It's the faster you go, you disappear. Okay, but you're still there. So now you're merging into everything through circuits. It gets complicated. It's like taking you into all levels in the underground and become everything through electronic, everything magnetic fields. So, and that's a DNA that has to get understanding its position to its location of its intelligence. The avatar has to understand what you're doing. If you're blending into the atmosphere, you become the atmosphere. And that alone is its position locations. Wow, I am the atmosphere now. And you say to yourself, this is cool. So you already have position location of collaboration to the galaxies, the vortex locations. When you come into levels of the grounds, the powers, the atmospheres, and the waters, and the fires, you become everything. It's merging into all levels of you. Okay? That is the idealism that you need to reach, real position to its locations, right? And when you come into those proactive systems, you realize, yes, I've been there. And that's what makes it real to the mind system. The mind makes it real, especially when you're in that current location. Okay. So, okay, you be multitasking. Yeah, there's a lot of absent people. That's fine. You guys are busy. You have your jobs to do. That's great. Fantastic. Just be aware you're going to see everything. That's all. Because you're high rising faster. So, Sharon, how's it going? Sal, how's it going? Bobby, how's it going? All right. So let's travel. Michaela, just going through all the list here. Yeah, it's really exciting. I know you guys. I know there's a couple of people that have already seen them, but this is a little bit more because you're actually going to really see because you're more aware. The more you're aware, the more they're aware of you. Okay. All right. So let's get started. So I'm going to set up the planes, code system location to its conditions. All right. Reaching high signals and interference to code location. So it's really understanding how to travel, how to go back and past, the present, and the future. But you have to understand the connection. And this is all done through DNA, right? So for the dinosaurs to understand you have to be at a certain vibration. That's how it works. It's the same thing when you're in a current location with your animals. You have to be at a certain vibration. If you're not at a vibration, there's a fear track right there. Right? And that's a lot of avoidance to that position locations, right? They center off position locations and they do circles and circles and circles and the dogs bark and all that. And so, they're protecting, they're covering the conditions. They're only protecting the cubs or anybody that they have behind them, kittens, cats, dogs, anything through animal kingdom. They always have a way to protect their systems. Okay. So, and that's what you guys have to do as the avatar is protect you and your loved ones and your kids, right? That's what this is all about, right? But when you travel, you really get recognizing system locations and memory. That all comes back over time. It's faster more than others and track location to its conditions. All right. So the planes that we're going to go through kind of looks like this, a little bit of sandy. Right. Now you can actually see all levels of the dinosaurs. I see them, but you can't, right? Because I'm already there. That's a true understanding that the concept's already set up. You're just not aware yet because you haven't traveled yet. You can't travel until you understand the codes of space-time. You can't travel until you understand the avatar of space-time. You can't travel until you understand everything through position, location, of vibration of space-time. Okay, that's the complication of space. It's very confusing if the avatar doesn't understand vibration of time, of planets, and position locations to its connections. Now, the dinosaurs lived in one big, massive land of a planet in position to its locations, right? So it's amazing when you see these things, okay, how they just basically, whoa, come back to life, you know, in their current location. And that's how they're able to see you because everybody here is going to be on that vibration, okay? So it's pretty amazing when you see these things. All right, so here we go. Electrical lights. Here's the plane. Again, I'm going to change coloration line centers. Okay, it's like overlooking the sun on a sunset. It's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So it's all about understanding how to do this through all level position equation, right? So it's kind of like when you're looking at the moon and it's going down, right? You can actually see if you keep going, it's going to disappear. So the more you go, the more you go, the more you go. So you feel like you're going to drop, but you have to realize what it's doing is just circling. That's all it's doing. It's doing this every single day, because the flux capacitor is center position locations, the Y line center interference, right? So it's going this way, it's going this way, it's going this way, it's going this way, it's going this way. So wherever you go, the sun and the moon goes, because now you're attached like a magnetic force, right? So it's pretty amazing when you see these things, how it's all done through space, how it comes off in the distance location to its connections. All right. So I'm just going to set up the planes, all different colors. All right. So set up the graph line center and position location. All right. Now, when you go through the planes, it's going to go extremely fast. Okay. We'll start off with this. There's the planes. Okay. Now, I'm going to open up a portal. Code signal locations, all the observers is going to basically, they'll see the same thing. Some will see more than others, but you're all going to see the same thing because you're all going to be together. No separation. You're all going to be there, right? So you walk in the connections of the forest, you're going to see big leaves, big as houses. Different time, different space, different connection, guys, right? Everything has a life force that's lived. And it's very powerful when you see these things, okay? All right, so the planes are set up, code signal location to its conditions, cross signal interference. All right, so I'm just going to cross the signals. All right, like this. So it kind of looks like a plane graph. All right, see? Pretty wild, eh? All right, so position locations. So I'm going to open a portal. It's going to chain line interference position of code signals, observation and interference locations of the GFAs and the GFLs and the rebellion. Set the core line center position location 150,000 years, current line center in positions coming into the dinosaur's location. All right, so I'm going to open the portal line center. Okay, in position and track system. All right, so we got this, we got this, we got this. All right, and we got this in position. All right. Okay. We start off with this position location. All right, everybody see that? See the yellow? All right. All right, then we got the two trees in the back. Three position locations, high levels. Okay, open up the pour line interference and position location. Travel position locations. All right, so the portal's open. Now I'm going to line strip everybody in position locations. You're going to separate and extremely go through. If you see time zones, you understand why it's so important to understand line signals. Line signals back in your pixel activation body. But the conceptual has to understand it's radio interference. its positional location to its gamma line system. It opens up all levels of you back in particle system of your cells. So it resets all your computers back in your position, right? So it's line signals that go back and now you're there, right? You can't travel as a full complete system. You separate because you're going faster. You understand? So to understand space, you have to understand your particle system and how it separates and comes back together. Okay? That's how everything operates when it goes really, really fast, right? So when you really go in position, you see the particles. If you keep going back, you come right into string theory, right? And that string theory is all levels of a portal. Germinalized center is the mind telepathy that opens its portal to its shape, to its geometry location, to its condition of travel, to its avatar system. And now you have a plasma, now you have a portal, now you have a realm, now you have a window. You go through, right? That's a process of all levels. We'll get into that next week when we come to string theory and what that is and how you can travel fastly through all different like conditions of jump scars. So in position location, portal setup and position locations, right? Isoline centers, you guys are in position locations here, right? So you come in out of the portal. This is all you. Okay, little dots, particle system, separating position locations. This is all you. All different coloration line centers, all different DNA track line centers, but you're all together to that conditions, all right? All right. So once I line signal the graph line centers, you guys are going to go into the ethers and you're just going to go. Okay, here we go. Code signal, navigate, initiate, position locations. All levels of triangle line center location, 150,000 years in the past position, put them in the current line center of the dinosaur years conditions. Here we go. There you go. Now you're on the plains. Now you're traveling extremely fast. Here's the portal that you're going through right here, right here, right here, right here. All right, you're going through that portal. 1, 2, 3. Change the coloration line center in position location. High level channel rotations and calculation modification signal. All right, change the coloration line channel. Here we go. In position location, the calculations. There you go. 40 minutes, have fun. All right. Trial position location, time center. Everything in position location is allocate time. All right. It's rotation to all spin cycles. But it's amazing how you travel through the planes of its position. All right. Cool Dinosaur beats Johnny. Yeah, I'm working on the Flintstones. Flintstones, yeah. Dino. All right. Dino power. Okay, curious what I get for the first time. Hey, Russ, how you doing? Yeah, for all the new viewers, questions and comments afterwards when I go live on TikTok. When you're traveling through you and you only, trying to remember you through all levels of the avatar system, okay? All right. It's like we're the Power Rangers Dino version, yeah. Oh, no, I didn't mean for the finger to point. Connection location line conditions here. All right, so where are we? Riding dragon and black, man, blue, black, purple, for instance. So whatever you go through teleportation is very powerful. You have your spiritual guides, your galactic signatures, anything at position location to help you out. And guidance is everything. But when you're traveling to certain position locations. You need a day, you need a month, and you need a year to travel. It's that simple. And what is that? 3. Right? It all process locations, all levels, interlines belt of your gateways, interference location to its connections, interline its connections, all levels, past, present, future. So, all right, sense, rumble, tones, very different, clock and indeed, generator shows, roar. There we go. On the super amazing Mayo house. Let's see. I'm going to ride the beautiful and distant rainbow spectrum dragon as well. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, okay. It's my birthday week today. Go. Congratulations. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. All right. Where are we here? Flintstones. Meet the Flintstones. Yabba dabba doo. I used to watch that when I was a kid too. Wilma. Okay, we reminds me of Jumanji. Yep. Okay, I really want you guys to understand the life force, how everything lives, and everybody has a time, because that's all we live on is time. So slide down the Dino tail, Flintstones. Okay, string theory. Okay, I given the mission, almost the scavenger hunts. You guys are all giving your gifts everywhere you go. Saw the dives, our vendor swooping back in the BD for weeks. Okay, we're sticking with the vegetarian brontosaurus. Yep. Very good, Jill. Excellent. Have to run around and get pieces. Something forms something. Beautiful connections. All right, cool. All right, where are we here? You're interesting and feeling a bit nauseous. That's okay, Val. You're just not used to the time sequence, time center. So it's the reason why you're feeling nauseous because your atmosphere is changing position locations. So the avatar is going back in time, right? So because the brain frequency doesn't understand the calculations, it only understands the now system, which is great. But the problem is that the avatar is in the past, but you're still in the center. That's the position locations where it off centers position location to anything in the calculations. You have to understand these things because the physical line center never leaves its position. It's in the 1%. That's you on the grounds. So, but the avatar is in the past, present, and future. It just has to understand its conditions of you through telepathy from one to another, right? But allows you to see these things, right? But what makes it more powerful is that you're in the current location. So it's like me taking you into the future, but your physical line system is still there, but everything else is left. All right. So it's amazing what you can do through travel with the avatar, through timelines. Okay, let's see here. Vibrating zoom. Let's see here. Pretty water, white crystals. There's going to be an enriched crown approaching a water hole. Hearing much chatter among the birds and animals and gathered energy stream, plasma flowing from the eyes between them. Sonar is cleared. I can't get over how massive the trees are. Oh my God. Yeah, trees are big. Plants are big. It's a totally different time, guys. It's like you're an ant to them. There's velociraptors. You know, there's even condos, right? This is going to be T-Rexes. I mean, it's just basically living source, which is amazing, especially when you see these things and you get a better understanding. Wow, we are not the only ones that lived. So when you see these things, it really opens up your perception, to its conditions. All right, amazing team. Sleigh stacks. We came here lots of, avians. So in connection is understanding the formation line center when it comes into intelligence of reptilians or anything conditions. It's truly understanding the DNA track, why it's all positioned to you. And this is how it comes into calculation to humanity, right? So there's a frame that you're going to go through after you see everything. It's all about understanding what happened in that position location to its direction system. It's all about understanding how we collect these things and how we put these things all together and how humanity gets in the conception of all living its sequence, its position to its time frame, which is your born cycle of 3-dimension, right? That's where humanity started off at, right? For a very, very long time. But the conception and the highline center of the earth and the ethers have been facing high-lying wind sectors and high position locations of misdirection locations, too much masculinity of vibration, and not enough of the female track location. So this balances out more when it comes in the soul relation to its connection of its physical line center, which the male and the female aspects of both have to come back into its earth and its project system. So, all right, sending tons of birds. I'm gonna get loud. You have Samuel. Oh, that makes sense, Steph. Okay. Oh, dinosaurs have feathers. Yeah, doing excellent. Great. Alicia, how you doing? So, Yep, your ants. Your ants to them. They're very big, very tall. Don't be afraid to walk around, see things, and explore. Totally makes sense. I'm remembering so many things from my past lately. I'm so excited to clear and be. That's what it is, Val. Be. That's what you want. You want to come in position locations and how to highline its system to its inner child and start remembering these things, why it's so important, right? But it's incredible. Like I said, travel is amazing because travel is you through memory of what you can do to its planes, right? So it's incredible when you do these things. It doesn't have to be professional. If I line signal location interference, you guys are walking the surface right now to the earth planes, which is great. You're seeing the dinosaurs and everything you see. And you're going to see mosquitoes this big. Different time, people. All right. So I really want to get more into connections of 3, 6, and 9. Trying to understand that when you come on for the very first time, you're trying to figure out what video do I watch? Well, it's all a basic understanding that you're here to remember. Okay. You are allowing yourself to remember who you are. And the only way to do that is to travel. Okay. But it has to be through the mind, people. Okay. This is the position where the avatar has to get the balance of all levels to its connection. So really understand is that you're coming into your imagination of creation. And this is how you get things through manifestations. The more you remember the content of you, the more of the memory comes back, information. That's why it's so amazing. But you have to know how to travel through light. And the only way to do that is to go through the process of 3, 6, and 9. Okay? So these are the things you have to look at. 2 foundations. All right? Very simple. I'll draw it out. 3, 6, and 9. Okay? It's very basic. 3, 6, and 9. Right? Clock. In system. Diamond core. Right? So that's the connection right there. Okay? That's the connection right there in position to its location. Okay? Change locations here. All right, that's the connection. That's the connection. See? See how it's the connection? See the pyramid? 2 sideline center, interference of 369 location. Full 3-dimensionalized center. Dimensional setting of a pyramid, guys, at 369 to its diamond core, which puts locations at all levels of north, west, east, and south. Okay? Now you can line signal on that and make it bigger. Put a plasma bubble around it through diamond core position location, right? So it's all about understanding how to put this all together, how to travel all levels and position locations to the flux capacitor. See the flux capacitor? Now you got position locations. You activate the system location, right? So this position location, so 3 can be over here, okay? 6 can be over here, jumping up, right? So it's amazing when you see these things, right? So 3's there, the sun's here, 6 here, the moon's here. See that? See that changed position? So you can take the sun and you can move it down here, right? 3's here. And it's all done through its clocking. So it doesn't look like much, right? But if you notice, it's all position of a map through its earth. You see the position location? Look. There you go. Hoo-ah. See it? That's true understanding when you come to calculation like connections, how the sun rotates, how the moon rotates, the sun rotates, how the earth reflects its position and location to all levels of direction. So the sun is at the very top position. So if the sun's moving, you're moving. The moon's moving, the moon's moving. But it's got its flux capacitor. So the flux capacitor holds it in sequence. So whatever you do, you can spin it. Right? So the sun goes, right? And it goes back up. If it goes back up, you're changing your thought. If you're going forward, it's going forward. You're going back, it's going back. Wherever you go, the sun goes. Wherever the moon goes, the moon goes. You understand? But the flux capacitor holds you in balance of the physical line, which is 1%. Okay? So it's amazing how it becomes into levels of its earth, of you, through perception. So that's a Trinity standing when you come to the calculations, right? Then you come into all levels of force fields. See that? Pretty well, right? Then you come into higher position locations, another force field. Pretty wild, eh? Then you come into another position locations, protecting the Earth position. Pretty wild, eh? Then you come into one rotation line center, which is 5. There it is. Now you're protecting the sun. Now you're protecting the moon. Now you're protecting Earth rotation to your flux capacitor location. Hoo-ah! All through 3, 6, and 9 in clocking system of north, west, south, and east, people. Okay? So hopefully that gives you a better understanding why there's a flux capacitor and it's here. And the chakra system rotates. And the round comes out. And the ears come this way. And the eyes laser that way. Right? And you travel out through the sun. It's all positional locations, all levels of view when you go through your coloration patterns. The secret of the location to its connection is all about understanding how to travel through the avatar, which is amazing. All through positions to Earth perception. See? So, how's everybody doing so far? Growth ends and the dinos are showing me. Let's see, in the cave, Sammy, you have green. Green heart, code for me. Excellent. I've seen the cave, 2 stuff. Here I come. I see you stuff. That's what I just saw with the pyramid, like General drew. You guys come into that permission. Everything I draw, you will draw in a different way, but we're all together. And that's the secrecy in our line center when it comes into telepathy from one to another, to opposition location. It's all about getting humanity back into the 8 central line of 12 DNA rotation. That's what we got to get everybody in. The rotation spin will hide its position behind line center into an atom rotation. Okay, that puts everybody into the 6th dimension, to a higher level of correlation, to a different timeline of its division. Okay, so inverted pyramid here in a crystal cave. Dinosaurs are very welcome, loving us. Giant hearts, love, love, love. Standing next to it, beautiful waterfall, mountain, yellows being shown, reflecting off the sun. The glass is there, cool. Crystals, yep. Feel like it's home in a crystal cave. Chills, it's so cold. Everything is talking to me. It's beautiful. Pyramid under the water. Energy creates the ripples in the energy sonar, flying back to the bird from red. Excellent. Gigantic, graceful here. Stargate. I made it as soon as I could. Excellent. Let's see position locations. Oh, red is the pyramid. Remembering more each day, grateful, can feel so much goodness. Well, there you go. Now you're catching on, Val. Excellent. Golden cave on the horizon, walking to it. God confirmation, allowing me to put my feet up. Good. Water flowing in the air like gravity has changed. I see that, Mike. Dinosaurs. See my dragons blend in with here. Gigantic leaves. Emerald frequencies and codes. Waterfall splitting. Join you in those healing waters. Excellent colors. Crimson red. Putting all colors, codes in my backpack. So everything you do through travel is all levels of you remembering who you are. Through gifts or puzzles or geometric shapes or more location to its connections. Spiritual guides giving you advice. Seeing things for what you need to see. This is all levels of remembering who you are. That's all this is. And that's the travel through its connections, how you get an all formation line system. Okay? But it's actually incredible when you see these things, how it's all set up. Right? It's confusing, right? But it's a lot of fun because the confusing changes its conditions. You tangle up, you tangle on, you tangle up, you tangle on. Quadrant field, line center, interference locations at all levels of the plasma line center. That's in so much indifference location to its calculation of the sun, and doesn't know anything to calculating center locations of its moon, which is its modem. As long as you understand how to put yourself in positions, you have your flux capacitor, you have your sun, you have your moon, your 3, 6, and 9. And you can just learn how to use the sun and the moon in direction location at where you want to go, right? But your job is to protect your earth perception. And everything that you have inside, you coven. You understand? All right. Content to see the dinos and the planes standing on top of a golden cave. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's amazing how you do these things. And that's what you see from the very beginning is the connections of the planes. Right here. See the planes? I'm traveling through it. All right. It's not what I'm drawing. Just remember that. It's not what I'm drawing. It's what I'm coding. And to code things, you have to understand how to travel through timelines. And the only way to do that is to understand space and time of operation through its avatar. Space, time, avatar. Space, time, avatar. Space, time, avatar. That's it. Past, present, future. Hello. There's the moon. There's the sun. Okay. Sky's yellow, smelling like sulfur and seen bubbling. All right. Yes. Remember confirmation harmonics frequency to make the active glow. Saw windows. See, now you guys are starting to see things, which is fantastic. Excellent. Rebooting new sonar. Sky, yeah, excellent. So it's the connections to the sulfur. That reminds me of the Drakians. Draconians. Oh my goodness. Sulfur. No, not again. Babylon. Blue is underfoot. I just saw it. It's huge. Yeah. Do you feel the sound coming off of that emerald? Wow. You got blue. Yes. So everything you're given is provision of time, sequence locations of time, activation core line centers of time, remembering the time, the avatar of time, the time sequence of time, the time codes of time, the suns of time, the moons of time, its location of time. It's all position of time, right? And again, I keep saying this to everybody. The reason why you come to school is to remember. That's it. To remember. Nothing else, nothing more. Everything else is easy peasy. So the more you remember and the more you see, you understand the connections of where it is through the sun, where it is through the moon, because it's always going to be with you, always going to be with you, always going to be with you. That's what it is. This is all it does. So if you change a thought and you want your sun to change, it's going to go this way, right? So you're walking this way. So let's just say you're in a car and you're traveling. So wherever you go, it shapes its position, right? So it doesn't matter what you do. It's always going to follow you, always going to follow you. So is the moon. So you're going to see more of the sun. You're going to see more of the moon. Sometimes you're going to see the sun. Sometimes you're going to see other sun. So that sun is a portal line center. The actual sun is position of its time frame. There's a difference between where I see people on TikTok. Well, that's a sun. What is that over there? If that's a moon, what's going on over there, right? So obviously you're looking at two what? Not two moons. You're looking at one projection of its moon. You understand? So it's kind of like looking through a mirror. Okay, this is what it is. You see the moon here. This is the moon right here. Moon right here. Moon's right here. Right? Right? Over there is this reflection of the moon. That's all it is. Hooah! That's all it is. So you're just seeing a mirror of the moon, but you're actually seeing the moon through perception because you're awake. That's all it is. That's where people are getting confused. Same with the sun. Oh, I see the sun. If that's a sun, what's that over there? right? Just a mirror, laser direction. That's it. So it sets a laser and it connects to the avatar, to its pyramid, people. Look at that. So it's amazing when you understand the connections. So when you're outside and you're awake, you understand why there's two suns. One's reflecting to the other. That's it. So it's one sun reflected to the mirror to its reflection. That's all it is. That's all it is. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Ground rods emerging side pyramid grabbing them. Okay. They were extremely connected to Gaia, helping them so much. They can't see interference. Well, I showed you yesterday when we went to the west and saw the equinox and the Inakis, the conditions where I use geometry locations and change weather into winter and summer, right? You have to understand how everything is position of change. So if there's 4 seasons, why can't humanity change into 4 seasons? How do they do that? They have to learn how to travel through geometry location, operation, direction location to its avatar system. The perception of its awareness becomes more universal to timeline center in position of shape location to its connections. Everything I do is travel, people. Okay? So if you try to figure out too much and you have blockage, it's because you're not seeing coloration of change. So the first thing you got to look at, where is your sun and light through perception? So if I go over here, it doesn't matter. The sun's here, right? So if I look over here, there's the sun. That's the sun. I'm looking at the sun. I'm outside, but I'm looking at the sun. So wherever you go, the sun goes. Wherever you go, the sun goes. But remember, the sun moves forward. If you don't move forward, what happens to the sun? You understand? This is an understanding when you're changing magnetic fields of yourself. You don't want to do that because you're going to go from here to here, and then here to here, and here to here, right? What are you going to do when you're in this locked position locations? Right? You got to release all line center locations. You can do a twine interference location to flux capacitor, but then you got to get back into the Y line center. That's what you got to do. I'm just showing up. You tangle up, you tangle on. You tangle up, you tangle on. You have to find a way to use your body and come back into flow. Understand? That's why it's so powerful. And I'm using it with my arms, people. I don't need to draw. I'm not drawing, I'm traveling. Don't get confused to the conception of what you're giving through data. So everything you're getting data streams, data lights, data interference, hieroglyphic locations, pyramid line centers, Egyptian line connections, Vega communication line centers, data frame line interference, code signal locations, code activation line connections, all position of you is nothing but travel. That's it. So you understand more of the travel, you become more into focus and clarity of what you're seeing through its awareness. But it's up to the avatar to understand what's going on when it's traveling in space. Okay? So. All right, excellent, Sammy. Yay, oh my God, General, I did what we talked about yesterday and it worked. Woo! All right, happy dance. Happy dance. See, it takes one to know one, you know. The more you understand the concept of you and position location of living, you understand that position, why it's so important to understand yourself through the avatar of remembering, right? So, yeah, I'm dancing, yeah. Yeah. But as long as you stay in your position, you'll be totally fine when you're traveling, guys. That's the most important thing. You just have to understand the connections on where the sun is. And like I said, if you're seeing the sun in this position and there's another sun here, you just have to ask yourself, well, there's no such thing as two suns, not in your universe line center. There's many suns and many moons, many thousands of suns and moons, but different timelines. It's complicated. Intelligence lives with 6 suns and 7 moons, but it's a different timeline, different intelligence, different space. Understand? This is the position where I put you guys back into your timelines of the presence, the future, or anything through its relation of its past. The truly stand, they're all different line centers. You guys are in a universal location in position when you wake up to 100,000 lines of ether location of a playground of space. Now, that's a lot of room to travel through the avatar. The more you high rise, the more expansion. You got this much room. And this is everything to its memory. Okay? What am I doing with my hands? Where are my hands at? What is it? It's a pyramid. See? You see how it's set? It's a pyramid. Elbows, right? Doesn't matter. Still a pyramid. Doesn't matter. Still a pyramid. On this side, because you're looking from an eye view looking down. That's where the pyramid is, right? Okay? Truly stand, everything in your body is nothing but a shape. You have to learn how to triangulate from this to this. So it's like this to this, and you straight through. So it's like seeing something and coming into line division location. Space is complicated because it's all geometric. And the thing is, you have to learn how to set the Merkabahs, the connections to your tesseract, the computer, how to set it up, how to set up the torical fields, right? In position location to its connections, how to set up laser direction. You have to send the sound barrier location to anything, or send in a ground position of laser locations of a teleportation unit that just comes into 500-yard line center. You'll never see a UFO ever on the grounds. Ever, 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 ever. Never, 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 because it changes the grounds of its atmospheres of its Earth. So there's a reason why it stays above. Lasers coming in. Out. So everything's sound barrier, everything's all connected to your senses. It's just high rising everything through position location to its connections. The more you get alert with the vessel, the more you understand the avatar of travel. Okay? So I think it's amazing when you understand the concept, and why it's so important to always understand when you're seeing things is really understand the direction and why you're seeing these things. Okay? So, and that's the true understanding is for you to understand your universe and what you're creating from inside, because everybody creates a different universe. That's even better. Nobody's in the same universe because you're different levels of avatar. You're different levels of coloration and light. You're different levels of dimensional beings, right? It's fascinating when you start creating the creation that's already created for you. You become your co-creators too. It's creation. So, all right, let's see here. Yeah, it's very powerful. Wow, it's already been an hour. Look at that. It's been an hour. It feels like 5 minutes. All right, so I'm going to take you guys out of the equation. Center, position, location, line, center. Set them back in communications, back force line, center, vortex communications, all levels in the current locations where they started before live system. All right, brought you guys back. I will be off position locations. No school tomorrow. I'll be on my trip starting Tuesday. I'll keep you informed. All right. Everybody have a wonderful day. Adios.